Hey friends, this is the Mrs. Wolfie from our half-acre homestead with a tea break. How's it going? My knees are poofed. They're really not doing well. I'm glad everybody enjoyed the combo video showing what I did with the produce I bought on sale. My whole point of that was to show folks that you don't necessarily have to grow it in your garden or even get it at a farmer's market to stock your pantry with deals. And I'm really glad you guys enjoyed that video because that took me 4 days to make. A lot of people have been asking, would I show how I cook with those ingredients? Oh, honey, guys, you're going to get that all winter long. I made a pantry pull meal tonight. The only thing that didn't do well was the broccoli. It didn't stand up long in the crock pot, but it was bloody delicious. So you'll be getting that somewhere down the road, that video. We got the last of our firewood. Well, not the last of it. We got a nice pile of firewood that Howie's going to start putting on the deck tomorrow. And he's soon got to clean the chimney because the chimney's gets cleaned every spring and every fall. And we had to turn the heater off in the pool today because I haven't used it in a week. The thing with turning off the heater and turning on the heater in the pool, it is kind of a seasonal switch for us. Not just turning off the heater. When Howie unplugs the baseboard heaters, he plugs in the pool heater. So when we turn off the pool heater, it's because we want to turn on the baseboards. You feel me? So I've been cold for a week. And the chimney wasn't clean. And so I wasn't going to light a fire, but I've been going around with slippers on and the windows closed. So Howie said this morning, I'm looking at the pool. I'm thinking I should take one last dip. And my knees told me that I was never going to get up and down those pool stairs today. So I said to Howie, shut it off and turn the heat on. And I did as promised. Well, I didn't do as promised. I took most of the day off today. I got a lot of housework done yesterday. And this morning I got up and I did some put away my dishes, and I folded the laundry, the laundry's all caught up, the bathroom's clean, the kitchen's almost completely there. I baked bread yesterday, all so that I could sit down today and watch the telly, watch my Call the Midwife and do some knitting. And I realized another sign, aside from the catching a mouse a day in a quick kill trap, catching a mouse a day. So I'm not catching them and releasing them, guys. And it's starting to spook me. I'm getting one a day, every day. I'm afraid to set out more than one trap. How many am I going to get? But with the geese flying over early, heading for Ottawa to fatten up, mid-August, with the geese flying over, all the mice I'm catching, the bears in my yard. Now, I don't begrudge Mama and her baby's bears because somebody put it on one of our local Facebook pages that they ended up from our place across the highway. And I did a heart attack thinking of Mama with 3 babies crossing the highway. But they went over down another road and cleaned out somebody's apple tree and stuff. But I realized it's Howie said, why didn't they didn't they go through your garden? I think, God, they didn't go through my garden. I said, it's the sugar content. They're after the pears and the apples, and they've been feasting on berries and all the fruits because it's the sugar that they need to build up the fat in their systems to hibernate for winter. So that's another big clue. And my neighbor said that there's been coyotes and a cougar in our neighborhood, and she's just across the road from me. So, there's all kinds of signs. And the fruit trees seem to be loaded this year. And branch-breakingly loaded. And I think that's, that may be Mother Nature's way of saying, eat hearty, my friends, because it's going to be an early and long winter. That's just me. That's just saying. But our firewood came today, and I'm really happy about that. Well, the rest of our firewood. And I think we're going to go look for 2 more cord. Last year, the wood we got was a good portion of poplar. And poplar's like the poor man's hardwood. And it's kind of like birch, but it's halfway between birch and spruce for burning. It burns up real quick. Makes a nice fire, but it doesn't keep all night kind of thing. And so this year we made sure we got 5-quarter hardwood. And so, but I'd still like 2 more because running out of wood last year and trying to find wood in March was not easy. And we did get 5 cord last year. And my body says, yeah, but you ran out. And my mind says, yeah, but that's because you were burning a lot of poplar. My body goes, no, you need more wood. So I'm listening to my instincts. When I see those sales, I haven't seen any deer carrots out yet, but they are out. So I'm just waiting for them to come into our neighborhood. And there's going to be more videos, more canning videos. You got a couple of videos coming up this week where I show a few mistakes I've made, like harvesting my spaghetti squash some of my spaghetti squash too early. Like not, like making ketchup and then realizing, yeah, you can put it in the blender, but you're still going to get seeds. So I ended up putting it through a sieve instead of one of the many food mills I have. Well, not many, I have 2. The hand crank one and then the cone-shaped one. So my second batch of ketchup should have been the one I filmed because it was like it was perfect. But you're going to get oven roasted ketchup coming up. And before the pear, the day before the pears. This is, sometimes Howie forgets that, when I say something needs to be done, he forgets that it's because I got a feeling. Like when we were going along the highway, taking our motor coach to Peterborough for a holiday, and we were in we were going through Carlton Place, and I said, we really got to change these tires on this coach. We don't know how old they are. And we got to the next, heading for the set of lights, and one of the tires went. So on Monday, he said, geez, there's a lot of pears when he came home from work, there's a lot of pears on the ground. And he said, and they're not bad this year. Like last year, they were really bitter and grainy, but they're not bad this year. And I stepped on one and they're ripe. And I said, well, go pick me some. He said, oh, not tonight, I'm tired. So I thought, every night he's going to be tired when he comes home from work. So I went out and I picked through the pears and I got, enough for 3 nice quarts of pears. And it was Wednesday when the bears came and got all of them. Like we got up the next morning and the ground was like when you saw the bears in the video, they came back after dark and they cleaned the ground. They just cleaned the ground. Yeah. It's a good thing I thought to go out and get some pears because there was something not right about how many were on the ground and why the branch was broken. And it didn't dawn on me until after I saw the bears. That's how the big branch got broken. Mama Bear was climbing the trees and shaking the pears down for the babies. So if you want my opinion, at least in our neck of the woods, it's going to be a deep snow winter, I think, or deep snow followed by a hard freeze. Either way, my knees are telling me, and yes, I put them through a lot of work. Most of the damage from my knees was doing that video on the dehydrating of the carrots and the potatoes and the canning of the potatoes and the roasting of the potatoes and the doing of the peppers and the onions. Was multiple trips of me going in and out, in and out, in and out of the porch. And it's a step down, a step up, a step down, a step up. And I'm filling freezers with trays and doing dehydrators and all those things. And my knees just took a beating over those 4 days. So, and they're keeping me up at night. But see, that's another clue. My knees tell me there's snow coming. And it's only mid-September. So I'm going to say this is one of those years why Canadian children's Halloween costumes are built to go over snowsuits. As a matter of fact, I remember taking my kids out trick-or-treating when we lived in Colburn, and we got a snowstorm, right? But you see, Briar was a mouse over his snow, so he was just a baby, like 7 months old, 6 months old. And Arthur was a mummy, so he was wrapped up real well. Real well. But anyway, I just wanted to thank you for all your wonderful comments. Yes, there's going to be videos on how I use that food that I have frozen and dehydrated and canned. So there's going to be quite a few. The baking videos are coming up soon. Thanksgiving is coming soon in Canada. And our Thanksgiving is more of a harvest supper. We're more Great Britain. Like, people just assume that we celebrate the same Thanksgiving style of Thanksgiving as you do in the United States. No, we're closer to Great Britain's harvest supper. And the only similarity between Canada and United States Thanksgiving is the turkey. The turkey and the pumpkin pie, right? So, because we don't have anything to do, Pilgrims and Indians and Plymouth Rock and all that stuff got nothing to do with us. Not that I ever knew. And it's funny because there's a lot of people in Quebec who do not celebrate Canadian Thanksgiving because it is a British hangover, right? Speaking of which, the Queen of England is dead. She's dead. And everybody thought, oh, it's a tragedy. No, it's not. She's 96 years old and died peacefully in her own bed. But Britain, make a break for it. Down with the monarchy. It's not that I don't respect or anything like that. I'm a Canadian. And she's never been my queen. Right? Why? Because I'm Canadian. The fact that we have a nodding connection with Great Britain, right? I mean, I think that should have been given up a long time ago, right? We've been our own country long enough. We shouldn't have to like nod to a monarchy, right? It's just silly, I think. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, I guess what this rambling tea break's all about is to use your noodle. There are a lot of people now that are waking up, and I'm not talking about woke. I don't even know what that means. But there are a lot of people waking up now to the realization that the governments and institutions of our countries, the corporations, the governments, the medical, religious institutions, all these things have far overreached themselves when it comes to us. I mean, somebody told me that they were paying people to register their gardens. They'd give you $500 to register your gardens. Could somebody please confirm that for me? Where it is and how far that goes across the United States. Oh, even if you got a tomato plant, you should register it and get your $500. Now, what could the government want so bad that they're going to pay you $500 for a tomato plant? Somebody please confirm that story for me if you can. All I know is yes, I shop sales and I can, but I grow what I can as well. Why? Because I no longer trust the food chain or the food chain the way it has been organized by governments and companies and corporations and administrations. I no longer trust the food chain. So I'm shopping as local as I can. I don't know if I pointed it out or not, but when I did that video of all the carrots and the potatoes and the onions and the peppers, those were all Canadian products. And everything that I had bought at the factory or the grocery outlet, most of that stuff was from the frozen vegetables were from China. Well, one of the things I wanted to show was that if with a little hard work and a little planning, you can get you can shop the sales for local to at least to your province, state, or country. Can it, dehydrate it, freeze it, and you'll save money, and you're putting money back into your own country and your own economy. You don't necessarily have to be a homesteader to take control of the food chain in your home. Take back control of your pantry. Why? Because if you give somebody else control over your food, then you become a slave. It's that simple. This is the Mrs. Wolfie from Our Half Acre Homestead saying, don't forget, today there's a live stream right over there at Life with the Wolfies, and I will leave a link in the description box below this video. See if you can answer me about those registering your gardens thing. Isn't that kind of silly? Like, it's like wanting to put a meter in my well to see how much water we're using. None of your business. It's my well. Right? Take care. God bless.